Give me a moment of your attention and I'll strip away what you've been calling weakness. Not by flooding you with motivation. Not by covering you in empty inspiration, but by exposing what it truly is, an illusion you've mistaken for truth. You've told yourself the same lies for so long, they've become your personality. You've built a story to protect them, and that story has kept you small. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This is the moment you bring those hidden parts into the light. It won't make you a new person. It will reveal the one you've buried under layers of doubt and fear. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't write for the fragile. He didn't comfort the endlessly anxious. He wrote for those willing to confront life's violence with their eyes open. For those tired of lying to themselves. For those who know no one is coming to save them. If you've reached that point, if you've had enough of fear, passivity, and apology, this is not a transformation. It's a return. Strength has never been outside you. It's been hidden under self-doubt, conditioning, and an addiction to comfort. So what is weakness? It's not emotion. It's emotional submission. It's needing permission. It's outsourcing your worth to people who can't even carry their own. Weakness is choosing peace over truth. It's lying about your desires to avoid judgment. It's disguising laziness as self-care, fear as humility, insecurity as empathy. Weakness is not the absence of strength. It's the presence of self-betrayal. And the modern world is designed to make you weak. Your education taught you obedience. Your culture taught you to conform. Your media feeds you helplessness disguised as awareness. Even those who claim to love you often benefit from your softness. They reward your passivity. They applaud your restraint. Not because it's good for you, but because it keeps you small and predictable. Nietzsche saw it. He warned, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. Not a physical struggle, but a psychological one. The fight to stay true to your instincts when the world demands you neuter them. The first step to erasing weakness is seeing how you've been trained to confuse it with goodness. To believe that saying no is rude. That boundaries are selfish. That choosing yourself is narcissism. Real strength, the kind that makes you magnetic and respected, comes from rejecting mass thinking, rejecting the need to be liked, rejecting the safety of the herd. So, who are you without the need to be liked? Strip away your filters. Stop editing yourself. If no one needed you agreeable, who would you be? Most can't answer. They've built their identity on reactions and feedback. They don't have a self, only a mask. And here's the truth. That quiet resentment you feel, that fatigue sleep can't fix. It's not burnout. It's the cost of weakness. You weren't born to be endlessly tolerant. You weren't born to fold at raised eyebrows. You were born to be unshakable. The reason you feel weak is because you've denied that part of yourself for too long. It hasn't vanished. It's waiting. Weakness hides in habit. It lives in your mornings when you reach for your phone before you reach for yourself. It lives in your speech when you water down truth to keep others comfortable. It lives in your emotions when you let them control you instead of commanding them. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Your why is not something you find, it's something you choose. When you choose it, weakness begins to dissolve. Because when you know your direction, distractions lose their power. Drama fades. Doubt becomes noise. You were not born to be tolerated. You were born to be felt. So choose. Decide what you serve, what you build, what you will no longer allow. And make it non-negotiable. Because if you don't, the world will decide for you. Most people will never stand alone. Not because they can't, but because they won't. They need the group. They need the nod of approval. They need the comfort of knowing they are walking the same path as everyone else. But the path of everyone else rarely leads anywhere worth going. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." You cannot become that person while hiding in the crowd. The crowd feels safe because it gives you cover. You can point to the majority when questioned. You can say everyone thinks this way and avoid the weight of thinking for yourself. But safety has a price. You trade your voice for belonging. You trade your instincts for consensus. You trade your freedom for the comfort of numbers. Nietzsche warned, "In individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule." The herd does not think. It reacts. It follows. It fears what is different because it threatens its illusion of certainty. If you want a life that is yours, you must be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing to be called difficult. You must be willing to walk away from the applause that keeps you small. Standing alone means you answer only to your own conscience. It means you let go of the need to be agreed with. It means you know some people will turn their backs when you stop being convenient. At first, the silence will be loud. You will feel exposed. You will feel the weight of no longer having the group as a shield. But that silence is also freedom. It is space to think without interference. It is room to feel without editing. It is the sound of your life returning to you. Carl Jung also said, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another." There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. When you stand alone, you stop trying to wear shoes that were never made for you. You begin to see how much of your life was shaped by the need to fit. The clothes you wore, the beliefs you repeated, the dreams you adjusted so they wouldn't draw too much attention. Standing alone tears all of that away. You will lose people. Some will drift quietly. Some will leave loudly. Some will try to shame you back into place. Let them go. Their absence is not emptiness, it's space. Space for those who see you without needing you to dilute yourself. Space for the projects and visions you postponed while waiting for the group's approval. Space for a self that doesn't flinch when challenged. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Stop debating whether your path is right enough for others. Walk it until it proves itself to you. Standing alone does not mean standing against everyone. It means standing without the need for everyone. And the strange thing is, when you can do that, you are never truly alone, because you carry yourself fully. And wherever you go, you bring your own foundation. This is how strength grows. Not in numbers, not in approval, but in the quiet certainty that you can stand anywhere, even in the storm, and not bow. Self-respect is not a feeling. It is a discipline. It is not built in the moments when life treats you well. It is built in the moments when you must choose between your standards and your comfort. Carl Jung said, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people." Self-respect begins there, by knowing yourself so fully that you cannot be bought with flattery or broken by rejection. Most people confuse self-respect with self-esteem. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Self-respect is how you treat yourself when it's hard. It is the decision to keep promises to yourself when no one is watching. It is the refusal to betray your own values for quick approval. It is the courage to walk away from anything that demands you shrink. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." You cannot truly live if you are constantly abandoning yourself for convenience. Self-respect is in the boundaries you hold. It is in the late nights when you work towards something that matters. It is in the early mornings when you rise because you said you would. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent with what you claim matters to you. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your spine. Every time you break one, you weaken it. People can sense self-respect before you speak a word. It shows in how you carry yourself. It shows in the way you react when tested. It shows in how quickly you walk away from disrespect. But here's the truth. Self-respect is expensive. It costs you relationships that relied on your compliance. It costs you comfort that came from lowering your standards. It costs you the illusion that everyone will like you. Nietzsche said, "No price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." That is the trade. You give up being easy to please in exchange for becoming impossible to break. You cannot demand respect from others while quietly disrespecting yourself. If you tolerate your own excuses, you will tolerate theirs. If you abandon your own boundaries, you will let them abandon theirs. Self-respect is built in the small choices. In the food you choose when no one is watching. In the way you speak to yourself when you fail. In the standards you refuse to lower when you are tired. It is not glamorous. It is not loud. But it is unshakable. Carl Jung also said, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you." Self-respect is knowing before they ask. It is having your answer ready, not in words but in the way you live. When you practice this discipline long enough, you stop chasing validation. You stop explaining your worth. You stop negotiating with people who only value what they can take from you. And one day you realize, you are no longer afraid to lose anyone, because you will never lose yourself again. Most people spend their lives avoiding difficulty. They chase ease. They avoid discomfort. They look for the shortcut, the guarantee, the smooth road. But Carl Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. If you want to grow, if you want to live fully awake, you must be willing to choose the harder path. The easy path offers comfort now but costs you later. The hard path demands more now but pays you back for life. The easy path keeps you small. It keeps you dependent. It keeps you safe in ways that slowly kill your potential. The hard path exposes you, tests you. It strips you of illusions you didn't know you had. It forces you to meet yourself without disguise. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." When your why is strong enough, you stop fearing the weight of the hard path. You start fearing the emptiness of the easy one. Choosing the hard path is not about suffering for its own sake. It's about seeking the place where growth happens. It's about refusing to trade long-term strength for short-term comfort. This choice is rare, because the hard path will make you doubt yourself. It will make others question your sanity. It will demand that you keep moving when there is no applause. The hard path teaches discipline when no one is watching. It teaches you to keep promises to yourself when quitting is easier. It teaches you to rely on your own standards when validation disappears. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacle is not blocking your path. It is your path. On the hard road, you lose the illusion that you control the outcome. You realize the only control you have is over your own effort, your own attitude, your own integrity. This makes you dangerous to the world's expectations, because you are no longer manipulated by comfort. You cannot be bought with convenience. You cannot be softened by the promise of an easier way. Carl Jung also said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." The hard path forces you to face yours, to look at the parts of you you've ignored, to confront the lies you've told yourself to avoid change. It's not glamorous. It's not clean. It's not comfortable. But it is where you find your true strength. Not the strength to endure anything, but the strength to choose what is worth enduring. When you walk the hard path long enough, You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop resenting the weight you carry. You start to see it as the thing that shaped you. And one day you realize the hard path was never against you. It was building you. Unshakable does not mean unfeeling. It does not mean you never hurt. It does not mean you never fall. It means you cannot be broken by what used to destroy you. It means you no longer crumble when life changes without warning. It means you trust yourself enough to move forward, even through uncertainty. Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Becoming unshakable is about choosing who you are, no matter what life throws at you. The unshakable person has scars. They have losses. They have stories of failure no one saw, but they carry them without shame. Because every scar is proof they survived. Every loss is proof they kept moving. Every failure is proof they dared. Nietzsche said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." But strength is not automatic. It is a choice. You can let hardship harden you into bitterness, or you can let it sharpen you into clarity. The unshakable choose clarity. They choose to learn instead of complain. They choose to grow instead of shrink. They choose to act instead of freeze. This is not about pretending nothing affects you. It is about refusing to let pain define you. It is about building an inner ground so stable that no storm can sweep it away. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When you live by this, you stop trying to control the uncontrollable. You stop wasting energy on what's already gone. You put your focus where it belongs, on what you can do now. Becoming unshakable is a practice. It's built in small moments. When you speak the truth even though it shakes your voice. When you hold a boundary without explaining it twice. When you show up for yourself even when no one notices. It's also built in the big moments. When life ends a chapter you weren't ready to close. When the plan collapses. When the people you counted on walk away. You don't collapse with them. You stand. You adjust. You keep moving. Carl Jung also said, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people." The unshakable know their own darkness. They don't hide from it. They don't project it. They've made peace with it. This is why they are not thrown off by the shadows of others. They can stand in the presence of chaos and still hold their center. Being unshakable doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you get better at meeting it as it is. It means you stop needing certainty before you act. It means you stop tying your worth to conditions you cannot control. When you become unshakable, you don't seek a life without storms. You become the kind of person who can sail through them. And you realize, the goal was never to avoid being moved. The goal was to know that whatever moves you cannot remove you.